Hi, welcome to another episode of Brave New Leaders, where we discuss how to make better strategy. Now, in one of my former episodes, I talked about implementing strategy and what you have to think about in order to execute on your strategy and how you can create what I call a strategic management architecture. And one of the topics I spoke about is how to cascade the strategy into your organization, and I promise to tell you more about how you can practically do this. Hi, my name is Mark Snoekers. I'm a strategy advisor working with CEOs and their leadership teams on designing and implementing better strategies so that they can drive growth and performance. Now, I'd like to talk about how you can use the playing to win strategy cascade to cascade your strategy. Now, first of all, what do I mean by cascading your strategy? What I mean by that is that once you have defined your business level overall strategy, that needs to be represented somehow in the activities that all your departments, functions, and teams engage in. So it's really about bridging this gap between strategy and what you're doing on a daily basis, the operations of your business. Very often I hear people complain about, I don't have time for strategy because I'm so busy with my day-to-day work. Well, ideally, these two things are aligned, and what I'm proposing here is how you can actually make sure that these two things are aligned. Now, I'd like to use the playing to win strategy cascade for the business level strategy, and then once we have used that for the business level strategy, also use the same approach, slightly adapted, and I'm going to come to that, to the department, functional, and team level strategies. Now, if you're not familiar with the playing to win strategy cascade, it's a framework that was presented in a book called Playing to Win by the former CEO of Procter Gamble, Lafley, and a management thinker called Roger Martin. And what they propose is actually this cascade, and what it does is they say that a business strategy has 5 components, so 5 dimensions that you need to think about. So if you're not familiar with it, I just briefly introduce that, and then I'll show you how you can apply that on any department, function, or team level. Now, the first component of the strategy cascade is your winning aspirations, they call it. So what are your ambitions really? What are your goals, your objectives? What would you like to achieve? So you might call this vision if you like. I like to talk about ambitions, intentions for the future. The second part is what they call where to play. So on the business level, where to play is about who are your customers? What products and services do you want to offer these customers? What are the channels in how you reach your customers, and what are the stages in the value chain, so the activities that you want to be engaging in as an organization. The third component is how to win. So how are you going to create a competitive advantage for your business? The fourth component is about capabilities. So in order to play in the where to play that you defined, and in order to win, what are the capabilities that you need? So what are the things that you need to be really good at to be able to execute on your strategy? And then the final part, the fifth part, is what they call management systems. So this is all around what are the systems, and this could include the organization, the processes, but also IT systems, incentives and rewards, maybe culture, all these things. What do you need to be able to foster the capabilities that are crucial to execute on your strategy? So what I like doing is I like to take this playing to win strategy cascade on a business level to define what is our strategy. And then, because once you have that strategy, you start communicating that strategy, and the cascade is a very good framework again to outline your strategy, to communicate it, to visualize it, to describe it, to talk about it. People know it. So once you have used it to communicate your business level strategy, people know it. And that's why I also like to use it on a department, function, and team level. Now, the thing is that sometimes people have a challenge to, if you're a finance department, or you are a marketing department, or you are an HR department, this where to play, how to win does not always resonate nicely with everybody in the teams. So that's where we need to do some adjustments. But let's go through the 5 components again, one by one. So winning aspirations, again, the ambitions. What are our goals? What are our objectives on a department, functional, or team level? Works perfectly fine. Where to play? There are two ways on how I like to approach that. So the first is In the same kind of sense, like on the business level, where to play your customers and what are you offering your customers. This also works for any kind of department. So you might not think about customers, but you can think about who are your relevant stakeholders. So if you are an HR department, you have employees as your stakeholders. You can be more differentiated. You have management, you have maybe senior management, you have middle management, you have team leaders, you have the rest of the employees. So who are the stakeholders? Who are your most relevant and most important stakeholders? And what are the products, the services that you offer them? If you are a finance department, again, you can have your stakeholders, you have internal stakeholders, again, senior management, middle management. You have to offer them something, transparency on the numbers, for example, up-to-date reports, and so on and so forth. You might also have some, as a finance department, external stakeholders. So you have the regulators, you have the tax authorities, and so on and so forth. So you can think about that. So that's one way to approach where to play. Think about your stakeholders, think about what you're offering them. Another way to approach it is to think about the activities that your department is engaged in. So kind of think of what are all the activities that you are engaged in and where do you want to play in the sense of where do you want to invest your time and resources? And what is the distribution of time and resource investments across all the activities that you have? And then ideally, you obviously prioritize activities which are aligned to your overall business strategy. So if your overall business strategy, for example, says, well, talent is key for us, and because of the difficulties currently to find talent, because of the shortage of certain talents and certain skills, we need to prioritize that more. And maybe you need to say, as we're not going to find the talent on the market, we deprioritize recruiting, but we focus more on building the capabilities internally. So that would be a good example of how then HR strategy and the activities that HR focuses on is aligned to the overall strategy. So either, again, where to play, you can take two approaches: define the stakeholders, define how to, what kind of products and services to offer, or you take this activity approach and then you prioritize the activities that you want to invest your time in and resources into. When it comes to how to win, you can slightly tune that or slightly change the wording into how are we going to add value. So as a finance department which offers reports to senior management, how are you going to add value to whatever it is that you're doing? How are you going to add value to the organization? So it might be that you're thinking, instead of providing reports always with a monthly lag, we provide the report, timely reports. Maybe we create a system that allows management to customize the report they want to see, and you provide the numbers in real time, actually, or maybe with a daily update. So that's how you can add value. And then capabilities again is, so if you have defined what are the activities you want to focus on and how are you going to add value, you can think about what are the capabilities that you need as a department to be able to do that. And management systems, again, is the same thing as before. How do you need to structure your function, your department, your team? How are you going to track and measure the strategy implementation? What are the KPIs you're using, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a good example of how you can use the playing to win strategy cascade, not only on the business level, but on a functional and department and team level. So thanks again for watching. If you found this helpful and valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and colleagues. Let's all work together to make better strategy, and see you next time.